Jim Cramer joins me on the floor of the NYSE. I'm Catherine Ross at TheStreet. All right, Jim, let's talk about Kohl's. What do you think?
Okay, listen, Kohl's was a bad call until they dropped the bomb at the end. Michelle Gass says, listen, the partnership with Amazon is working really well. We're going to end up being Amazon's wholesaler. What that says to me, remember, they have strip malls. So Amazon's been struggling. They've been trying, they haven't confirmed the grocery business yet. They need to be delivering grocery in order to be able to compete with Walmart. They need to have a strategy of buy and pick up like Walmart has if you want it. And they're doing it with Kohl's. And it's remarkable. This happened out of nowhere. And Michelle Gass is a partner of Kohl's, of Amazon, that is actually no one thought. Actually, it's the first we've heard since they started that pilot program where you can return stuff by going. I mean, we spend a lot of time returning things. We return things constantly. And we have this little place that we return to. It's 4 blocks. It's a very unpleasant experience. How much better just to drop it off at Kohl's?
And possibly shop there, too.
Absolutely, with Kohl's Cash. I like Kohl's Cash.
Why?
I like bargains.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
I like bargains. I got these socks at Kohl's.
Oh, those are nice socks.
No, they cost me almost nothing. I have them inside out
Kohl's
today,
Cash?
sorry. You bet Kohl's Cash.
All right, let's talk about Papa John's because there's some news there. John Schnatter is resigning from the board.
I think that may keep them from being, they've been a continual share donor to Pizza Hut. Not as much to Domino's. I like Domino's here, but it's been a tough slog. But yeah, get him out is very good for they have to repudiate him entirely. There's no room for what he said. Okay, I'm not going to repeat what he said, but there's no room for it. This is 2019. You don't do that stuff. And if you do that stuff, you're going to take it from everybody, including me.
Okay.
By the way, look, there's stocks, and then there's humanity. And I said in 2019, I am no longer going to just look the other way when people do this kind of stuff. I'm going to direct it. The same way that I'm going to direct sustainability, and I'm going to ask about what they're doing to save the ocean, what they're doing to save the earth, what are they doing to stop pollution, what are they doing to empower younger people, what are they doing to empower the people who are poor, what are they doing to empower the people who go to not great schools. And this is my focus. Besides, obviously, I'm still picking stocks, but I think that what's happened, and it dovetails, nicely with what I do. You can't get the smart people unless you're thinking about these, and if you can't get the smart people, the seed corn, then you're going to miss the numbers out 3, 4, 5 years. So this is a major focus for me. I'm sorry if you think it's wrong. I'm just sorry if you think it's wrong. It's just not. The analysts, I think, are slow to pick it up because they think it's dross. They think it's window dressing. The CEOs I deal with are really understanding about the importance of sustainability. And if they don't understand it, I come after them. Because this is no longer, I've done this show for a long time, and I recognize a trend. And this is a secular trend of sustainability. And the CEOs better focus on it, or they're going to come under fire.
So you're holding corporations responsible?
Absolutely. It's time. If I won't do it, who else can? I've got the ability. I just don't understand it. Not that I'm Bezos saying, if he doesn't do it with National Enquirer, okay. But, the companies are asking me to talk about it. It's not like I'm bringing it up and saying, be certified. Like Art Pack, who's a very hard businessman, he was saying, Jim, he didn't say me directly, but he said, Athleta is B certified. And these are important things. I think that some people feel that it's trend. It is trend, but it's secular trend. And Ingenui taught me this, the retired PepsiCo CEO. When you read what VF Corp said, VF Corp is a traditional retailer, traditional apparel company. Everyone should read their conference call. You'll know exactly what I mean. This is really important. No more fooling around on this issue. I'm not saying I'll find you, it's not like Taken, but I do think that people have to recognize that a Facebook is going to have a very hard time getting the right people, but a MasterCard won't, because they're doing the right thing. And Alphabet is struggling how to do the right thing. Salesforce is doing the right thing. Morgan Stanley is doing the right thing. They come out and say, look, they're in the top 5 of companies that on Glassdoor, the only financial one that is getting people because they're thinking about these issues. So if they're thinking about it, I'm thinking about it.
I'm glad that you brought up Salesforce because I want to talk to you about your interview with Mark Benioff last night.
Should we save that for Action Alerts?
Well, we're going to talk more about Salesforce on Action Alerts Plus, but I do want to talk to you just in general because I think that there's an education moment with the Salesforce earnings. So first of all, I want to just get your reaction to the weaker than
first you have to
expected
understand,
guidance.
I said yesterday to you that Salesforce was going to sell up because they're going to give the guidance for the first quarter and they sell up. And that's what they do. They always give that, but they give you the guidance for the year and it's very good. And the headlines read about the first quarter. First quarter is going to be weak. I drilled down repeatedly and asked in a very kind of unpleasant way, is it the macro? Is it Europe? Why is first quarter going to be bad? And just, Jim, the year. And the reason why he's saying that is because that has been the right way to look at it. And I wanted to debunk or get something on the record that said that the headlines were right, and I just didn't get it. And it makes me say, wait a second. Salesforce is going to go down because that's the nature of the beast. I don't know how low it'll go. Maybe it goes back to 153. There are a lot of negative Twitter feeds about how this is the beginning of the 15 to 20% decline. And I see that and I question where that comes from. And I have a piece in Real Money today saying, where does it come from? It's certainly not backed up by anything. But I recognize it. One of the things I've learned, thank you, Cramer, for teaching me this, is don't underestimate the stupidity of the seller. Just don't. I mean, you'll sit there and you'll think, that guy really must know something I don't know. And that's the wrong way to look at it. That guy has to get it off the sheets. As someone who traded big blocks and ran a trading desk, not mine, but previous trading desks, Karen would say to me, I would get this order, and it would be like, okay, take Georgia Pacific down. I got to get out of $1 million Georgia Pacific. And she'd go back to the portfolio manager and say, listen, there are no buyers here. And the guy said, look, I don't care. I want it out. And she would say, well, what are you kidding me? I mean, why don't we just wait till the bids build? The guy said, look, I just want it off my sheets. And so she would take Georgia Pacific down $8, and then it would bounce back up 5. What you're seeing is the moron portfolio manager overriding the actual human who's on the trading desk, and this is what you get. And I don't think you've worked on a trading desk, you don't get it. Machines, of course, have no price sensitivity either. But, as someone who, she would tell me when she would get home, she goes, I destroyed Georgia Pacific today. I just destroyed it. Why? Well, because the portfolio manager said get it off the sheets, and there were no bids. We have a lot of that. Someone's destroying Salesforce.
Okay, so...
I mean, that guy doesn't know how to do it. That's okay. Not everybody knows how to do things.
I'm glad that you brought that up.
No one understands that. They don't. You have to watch it and see it happen to understand what it means to destroy a stock out of stupidity.
Well, so that's what I want to ask you about, because I think that there's an educational angle here. I think that when we look at Salesforce and we look at this earnings season, which we've seen a lot of companies come in with weaker than expected guidance.
Yes.
Now, so my question for you today is, when I have a company that reports weaker than expected guidance, how do I react? Do I sell or do I hold?
Okay, great question. If you think that the balance sheet is not good and they report weaker number, CenturyLink, sell. If you think the balance sheet is good and they have a history of giving you negative guidance, buy. So that's the teaching moment. History of negative guidance, send the stock down. Workday does the same thing, buy, if the balance sheet's good. History of negative guidance, balance sheet's bad, sell.
Okay, now we got to get over to Action Alerts Plus,
Yes,
because
we
you
do.
just talked about Salesforce, and we also have Real Money's stock of the day, Kohl's, so we got to go talk about that.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining me, Jim.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.